we're all as open showing.
Hello, this is Donna Devane, the Barefoot Guru station owner, right here at awakenedradio.net. Thank you so much for supporting us through listening, joining us live in our chat room, taking part in our forums right here at our website. And we've got a brand new way for you to support our station, the Awakened Store. In it, you will find stones and crystals, dream catchers, books on healing, courses, classes, one-on-one healing and psychic sessions with our host. There's a lot more headed your way at awakenedradio.net. Remember, we are totally a listener and host supported radio station. Join us. Let your voice be heard. Host a show. Support our host. Help us by sharing our links and writing a review for our website at Alexa. That link can be found on our home page. Thank you again. Thank you so much for taking part and helping us grow. Everything that we have done, and we've done a lot, has been the result of all of us working together so that we can all thrive and all be successful. That's what Awakened Radio is all about. Thank you, I love you.
Welcome. You're now tuned in to your unfolding senses on Awakened Radio, a show about opening to your intuitive senses. I'm your host, Rob Ragozzine, and I'm on the air every Thursday at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. This show is brought to you by IntuitionByRob.net, where I offer tips and techniques to help you explore your intuition. Please enjoy the show and invite your friends to join us here as well. Let's get started. Hello, this is Rob Ragozzine. This is Your Unfolding Senses. It's live, April 18th, 2013. This show is about connecting to your intuition, your inner life, and your heart, essentially listening to your inner guidance, no matter your age, and making room in your life for your inner voice to shine through. As you do this, you can mindfully step toward a life that matters. Please join us in the chat room at awakenedradio.net and click on the live chat tab, or join us on the air by adding Awakened Radio to Skype or dialing 334-649-7204. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to join us. And if you're so inclined and you've enjoyed any of our shows, donations are always greatly appreciated. We're here for no cost to you, so please find it in your heart to click the donate button at the top of all the screens on Awakened Radio. And we have a 25% off sale still going on, and check that out too. This week, we'll be talking about creativity and healing. I want to give thanks to Susan Kern from Magic Life Playground and Chris Beulah from Farm Girl by 40. If you missed those two shows, which are on before me, please give them a listen too. And thank you for listening to them. Ultimately, we're talking about connecting to your heart and your inner wisdom. And for some, this next hour can be an opportunity to suspend doubt and disbelief, at least for an hour. But since you're listening, please do give yourself the chance to step out of your business and into stillness, to slow down, to make time and space in your life, to connect inward and make room for listening to what's important to your heart, what it's been calling for. Gradually, this space can deepen and unfold into your outer life. And with that in mind, I invite you to take part in the meditation. If you can safely do this, and if you can't, simply listen. You might bring a question to mind that you've been wondering about, You might light a candle, burn some incense, whatever's appropriate for you. But find a quiet corner, quiet space, sit or lie down and be comfortable, and gently close your eyes and begin to breathe slowly and gently, releasing any stress from the day, and breathe gently into yourself and your heart. Let go of any fear, doubts, or worries, and continue your breathing. Let your mind quiet and your body rest. Feel yourself filling with peace, tranquility, and calm. Bring your focus to your heart. You might bring your hands to your heart if you like. What has it been asking for? Allow your awareness of your heart to deepen as you breathe. Settle into the stillness and feel all of your senses open, grow, and deepen. Know that this is a special place where you can clearly hear your own inner voice, however it speaks to you. Be mindful of how this space feels. You might ask a question or notice any messages now that are available here. Your inner ears might hear a word or a phrase. Your inner eyes might see a color, shape, vision, or picture. Your inner nose might pick up a fragrance. Your inner taste might pick up a long-forgotten flavor. And you might notice other sensations as well. Pay attention to these. If at first you don't understand what they mean, ask for deeper clarity and allow whatever comes to you to come. If nothing does, that's okay. Don't force anything. Be gentle and just rest in the stillness and the inner peace. This could be the very thing your heart has been yearning for. Notice how your body feels in this stillness. Breathe into the parts of your body that feel tight or stressed and allow that feeling to drift away. Allowing yourself to feel comfort in this space and be grateful for it. Know that you can come here anytime and gently remind yourself that it's slowly time to come back. And as we prepare to leave, have and feel gratitude for this connection and any messages you received. And gently and slowly opening your eyes, coming back into your body, and feeling the gratitude for having this space and knowing that you can, again, go back anytime. This week, as I said, we'll be talking about creativity and healing. And as a result of some of the incidents that took place this week in Boston and Texas, and the earthquake in Iran, and other issues elsewhere, I'd like to do a separate meditation called Tonglen, and I'm going to post an audio of it that's sort of an introduction that I've done into the chat room, and I'll post it in my forum so that you can get to it as well. But I'd like to walk through it with us briefly so that we have a tool that we can work with to deal with the fear and the stress and any emotions that might be coming up. And we won't be listening to that right now, but I'll be just walking us through a sample of it. It's basically a tool that helps you to deal with whatever's up in the moment. So if you're feeling anxious, the concept of Tonglen is to be able to breathe that in to your heart, transform it, and release ease or joy or whatever it is that you'd like to grow within your life. So breathing in anxiety and then transforming it within your heart and releasing it as ease, freedom, celebration. But we're not connecting to it, we're simply transforming it. So you might take a moment now to breathe in anxiety into your heart, feel it being transformed, and releasing it as celebration, ease, and joy. So let's do that now. Breathing in the anxiety, breathing out the ease. Anxiety in, transformation in the heart, breathing out the ease and the celebration and the joy. Now you can do this for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But if you're having a reaction to it, take your time. Anytime that it seems difficult, it's probably pointing to something that is up for you or you're having an issue with, and you might want to look at that. To ask, gee, why am I having an issue with this? What am I afraid of? What does this point to? And to be willing to look at that for yourself and to wonder what that's all about. What is it covering? And you might take time to sit in stillness and peace and maybe journal about it, maybe do some creative project, which we'll be talking about tonight, to connect into this feeling. You might not even have to think about it. If we're talking about creativity, just go and create something. And then you can see it within the picture or the painting or the sculpture or whatever it is that you created. Maybe you simply sung your pain or your issue. Whatever it is, notice that whatever it's covering up. So we're breathing in basically our distress or our tension, and then breathing out joy and freedom and celebration, as I mentioned. And then when you're done, notice how you feel. Hopefully you'll have felt a shift, and this can really help us to deal with our feelings in the moment as they come up. So if you're unable to turn off the news, or you're watching too much of it, or someone's talking about something and you can't simply walk away, you can find time later to do this and to breathe in the tension and release your joy into the world for yourself. And then later, as you get better with this for yourself, you can start to do this for friends and family and others. But first, you are the prime target for this tool. You have to really have a higher level of compassion and awareness for yourself to be able to do this, and it connects in with what I was talking about last week, which was the shadow work. So it's really paying attention to what's beneath the tension, what's beneath the anxiety, what's beneath the fear, and paying attention to that and bringing your awareness to that and being able to release that. And this practice can help with that, and it can help you to begin to take steps to feel a little bit better. And then perhaps someone in your family is sick, so you can breathe in the sickness for them, and then breathing out healing and joy for them, and then maybe everyone else who has the same illness, for instance. And then steps beyond that might be to work for your whole community, your whole state, the whole country, and then maybe even beyond that is people that you disagree with, don't get along with, somewhere in that mix. So eventually you'll build your courage up and your strength up, and even be able to breathe in pain and suffering of people that you don't agree with and help them to heal, because we all need to find our way in the world. But that's an extremely compassionate example, and it starts really with you. And I'll have the link to this meditation in the forum after the show. So that's Tonglen. You can also do some research on your own, and there's plenty of discussions on it out there. And you can find mine as well. And that's what I've provided here. So give that a try, see how it works for you, see if it really helps you to heal and grow and help you to deal with all the tension that's in the world. Now, I have a quote about creativity from Jan Phillips, and she says, "Creativity is not some mamby-pamby pastime. It is not merely the poem, the watercolor, the song. It is the act of humans depending and describing the great mystery of life. Creativity is an act of faith, of hope, of love. It is virtuous, revelatory, prophetic. It is our prayer lived out. It is our heart reaching up to the brain whispering, I love you to the heart. The union, the merging of thought and feeling is what enlivens us. It gives birth to the images the future is sending us. When we create, we are receivers of the future, open to signs from mind at large that guide us, gift us, and light our way. So we're really trying to connect to ourselves and to truly listen to what we've been called to bring into the world, to give birth to allow to unfold within our lives. And by now, you've probably heard of Julia Cameron and The Artist's Way. And what I'm talking about is similar to what she's talking about. And Jan is, we're purposely working with art to help ourselves heal, to help ourselves create a different life for ourselves, and to shift and to bring about change within ourselves and the world at large. And the process can really help add vitality, color, and meaning to your life and give you a whole new perspective of your world. And if you begin enhancing creativity in your life, you may find changes will happen faster than you can imagine. But don't focus on the outcome. Just be willing to engage yourself in the process. Be in the moment as you're being creative. And wonder if you're listening to your own questions, your own ideas, and your own interests. Do you make time for those? And there's many programs around art therapy, especially within hospitals, using creative arts to help those impacted by trauma, abuse, mental, physical problems and concerns, and all kinds of things. And several studies demonstrate and show that art therapy really is very, very helpful in treatments of all kinds of diseases, including cancer, distress, stress, all of it. And it really helps you to step into a better quality of life, a better body image, reduction of pain, reduction of stress, as I said, better physical health, better physiological health, better psychological health. Several key universities, including University of Liverpool, are conducting studies into a number of areas, including music, participatory arts, and more. And I'll provide a link to some of their work. It's pretty incredible in the forum. And it really shows that finding a way to be creatively expressive is good for us. What's even more exciting is that most of the research shows art can help us step forward in terms of simply feeling better. And of course, if you're not feeling well, feeling depressed, you may want to find yourself a strong supportive network, including some kind of therapy or counseling, and do this as well. And always, if you're having problems and feel distressed, feel guided to seek out these things, or don't feel guided, try to find a way to build these into your life. Now, you can work with the Tonglen if you're feeling stressed, and we'll talk about some other creative ways to work with it too. But we'll also look at our chakras, specifically the second chakra, which is located in your lower abdomen, about an inch below the navel. You can feel the energy in that area with your hands, and just to notice how far out it extends from your body. If you have that capability, you might try that. And it's really the center of your feeling and your emotions, your pleasure, your sensuality, your intimacy. And when it's blocked probably with fear and distress and what you wish to create. And if it's underbalanced or overbalanced, you may be stuck in emotional distress or addiction or poor boundaries. You're not connected to your passion, which is probably the biggest issue. Now, if you're into yoga, backward and forward bends can definitely help to strengthen the second chakra. And strengthening it will help you to gain new perspectives and help you to relax. You might also work with chrysanthemum or carnelian, or wear some type of orange color on yourself. So maybe a necklace, maybe a ring, maybe clothes, though it's not very popular for most clothes, but try working with some of those stones, and we'll do a quick meditation right now to connect in to the second chakra. So bringing your hands to that area just below the navel and breathing into it. Breathing in breath, breathing out breath, and just notice what you feel there. Maybe you don't notice anything again, and that's okay. Just feeling the energy in that area. Does it feel stuck? Does it feel tender? Does it feel like it needs some support of any kind? Just to notice it. And maybe to spend some time here on a regular basis and find a way to connect in through external activities, maybe dancing, maybe yoga, and just to notice what's in this area. And right now, you can bring your dominant hand to your heart, and we can send love and compassion from your heart to your second chakra, and just feel it releasing whatever's tight or stressed or upset there. Feel it melting away, and just let it go. Feel the chakra opening. Feel the energy expanding. Be grateful for its message, if it has one. You might even ask if it has one for you. And send it your love, your compassion, your gratitude. And then when you're ready, bring both hands to your heart, thanking your second chakra, thanking your body, having gratitude for both, and bringing your focus back to the room. So just to notice what you experienced right there, and notice whether you felt any tension or worry, or maybe it was perfectly fine and it was open, and that's okay. That's probably really great. So continuing back to the creativity, we really want to find ways to reduce tension and stress in our lives and make time for creativity so that we have less tension and stress. They're really sort of self-feeding each other. So once you are able to have more time for creativity, you'll have less stress and less tension in your life, because the creative process will be healing and freeing and releasing. And in the chat room, I see someone has a orange dress. Well, go and wear that. And Susan felt bubbles. So you might go and do some artwork around that, which we'll be talking about, and feel into what the bubbles meant for you. Maybe it was simply releasing something up and out. Now, we're talking about creativity, so finding a way to have gratitude for what we have in our lives, and then we can have more space to ask for what we feel that we need, and that might begin to bring up clarity around what you're able to and wishing to let go of, and then finding ways to relax and develop stillness and focus and discernment. All of these can be helped through the process of creativity, and maybe you can bring, if you like, more meditation techniques in, and that'll help you to really step into more of a creative environment, because it's really about connecting to the stillness and listening to what's in your heart and what wants to be created, what's yearning to be created out into the world, be brought into the world. And I'm really inviting you to begin exploring art and creativity to yourself to bring the benefits that it can provide into your own life for yourself. It might be through playing a musical instrument. It might be through clay or painting, gardening, woodwork, singing, dancing, acting. Some of these things might be things you've been thinking about for yourself and pushing them off, telling yourself you don't have time, it's not worth it, and it won't help me anyway, and I just don't know where to start. Start at the beginning. Whatever you feel called to create with in your life, try to find a way to move in that direction. And some important research from some researchers in Italy in 2008, going after people in their 70s and 80s, they found that people with a passionate commitment to the pursuit of their discipline were definitely happier, and they were able to have better clarity and better focus. And they also all shared common traits of being flexible, having greater mind plasticity, and rather than dwell on their accomplishments of the past, they always look forward to setting new goals and new creative enterprises. And I always like to look at dreams, so you might look to, again, go and look to your dreams to see how they might be helping you to create something or build something, and they might be bringing you a blueprint to, or some sort of schematic, for instance, to how to change your life, only you don't understand it because dreams don't necessarily speak your language. You have to find a way to learn their language and interpret those assembly instructions or the blueprint. And we may feel like we're missing something, but we really have everything we need to do the job. It's all inside of us. But instead we say we don't know how, or we can't, or we aren't ready, and stress builds and creativity is stuck. We feel rushed, we feel tense, we seek outer remedies, and at some level those could be okay, but we still need to go in. So creativity can be very helpful, but don't compare yourself to others, don't label yourself, don't judge, and look, and don't try to find an immediate outcome. It's not about sitting down with a bucket of paint and creating a Picasso. So we're really looking at how we can look into our hearts and bring out its message into our world. And we're very close to the mid-break. And when we get back, we'll talk about this. But I'd like to tell you that you can connect to us if you have a question about this at 334-649-7204, or add Awaken Radio to Skype, or come to awakenradio.net and click on the live chat room tab and give us and talk with us in the chat room. Now, I've been working with art for a number of years, and one of the issues that I'll talk about when we get back is just that, how it's helped me to be, for one, more verbal. Well, definitely the radio is helping, but the art has helped that as well, so we'll get into that and talk about some of this for ourselves, and you might have some clear and concise areas where art has helped you, and we'll talk about that when we get back. So feel free to join us on air in the chat room. We're here live.
You are listening to Awakened Radio. Join us today at awakenradio.net. You want to go mobile with Awaken Radio? Tune in to the mobile application at tunein.com.
Target, look over there. I have a 25% discount. Click it with your mouth and you won't make it angry.
That's the Chihuahua people, and they want you to know that probiotics natural kefir is their choice for healthy living. You want to be empowered from the inside out? Come on over to the Awakened Radio store at awakenedradio.net. Click on our Awakened Store tab, and once there, you'll see the probiotics category. Click that and read all about water kefir. Fermented kefir water, live probiotics that you can flavor with the fruit or fruit juice of your choice. It empowers you from the inside out, and it is fully endorsed by the Chihuahua people in the Devane household.
Thank you for joining me, Rob Ragozzine, here on my show, Your Unfolding Senses. Please feel free to join us in the chat room or call us here at Awaken Radio with your intuition or healing questions. Simply dial 334-649-7204 or add Awaken Radio to your Skype. I'm back, and I posted a link to some artwork that I've done in the forum, and in the chat room, and I'll also post it in the forum so you can see something that I've done. And it's really but it's a piece that I've worked with oil pastel crayons, very simple, and it's got tons of color and different expressions. So you can do your artwork like with simple pastel crayons like I did, or pencil or pen, it doesn't matter. However you feel compelled to be creative, move in that direction. If it's clay, if it's stone, and you feel like chiseling something, whatever it is, move in that direction and try it out. You don't have to be the Picasso or the Michelangelo of your time. It's simply about finding an expression for what's inside. And a lot of illness is really related to holding things back, and creativity has a lot of power. It has the power to help us to step into a new way of living if you're ready and able to find a way to have it express. And once you create the artistic expression, you can then begin to look at it. It's not immediately for public consumption, let's say, the popular term. It's meant for your eyes pretty much only at the beginning, and you can explore it. And the piece that I've posted, I've been exploring for a little bit, and as you look at it, you can see almost the image of a woman or an owl. So then if you have these kinds of images, you could then work with the art as an exploratory tool into yourself and say, well, what does this woman want for me? What does this owl want to bring me? And then have a conversation with these characters and see how that works out. You might want to journal the conversation with each character. You might want to go out in nature and look for an owl and have a conversation. Or you might want to meditate and travel to the owl. Just something that's safe. Don't go and try to hike up a mountain and look for an owl in a cave or something. It's really about connecting inward anyway. So it's finding a way to get the message about what this artwork has in store for you. What is it trying to convey? What have you conveyed really to yourself? And Susan mentions that she likes to paint with having no idea with what you're painting. So, yes, that's part of the process here. You can set an intention at the beginning of an answer you'd like to have brought to your attention. Like you might be struggling with an issue, so you might set an intention to bring about a resolution to this issue that you're struggling with through the artwork. And that can help you to begin to resolve your issues, and that can be good. But you don't have to have a clear idea of what you're painting or drawing or working in the clay. It's just to let yourself express. And that's really what we're talking about here with creativity. What needs to come out, let it out. And at first, it's just for you. So once it's out, you can keep it somewhere safe where you'll walk by it and see it on a regular basis. And inwardly, in your psyche, as they say, in the psychological world, it'll work its magic for you. And slowly, another idea might start to percolate in your mind, and then you can create something from that idea. And that will help you to take a new step. So over time, you'll create a series of art pieces, creative pieces, and you'll be able to see the progression as you've been working with them. So you'll start out with maybe you'll create in clay a little saucer, and then next you'll create a little person that has a lap that you can put the saucer on, and then maybe a person that's bigger than that person, and then that can help you to step into a new relationship, for instance. So just to notice the progression in your artwork as you're creating, but really let go of your expectations. It's about finding a way to simply bring your expression out into the world. And it's really allowing you time to have for listening to your heart, for connecting with your guidance. And sometimes we can express ourselves with words, but other times we may need the power of a picture or a song, or even though we might not understand how this works, it just feels better after we sing, or after we paint, or after we dance. And sometimes our dreams can bring us messages related to these very acts. So find a way to listen and follow and begin to create. And I have a quote from Tony Wagner who says, "Creating helps make people happier, less anxious, more resilient, and better equipped to problem solve." So to step into this creative process really can help you to deepen your belief in yourself and your talents. It doesn't really matter how good you are. Again, it's not being about a new Picasso or a new virtuoso singer. It's simply finding a way to express. And really, I think it's time that our voices all be heard now. And this is a way in which your voice can be heard. And this doesn't preclude other outer action. It can help you actually in that process. You'll be able to be calmer and more rational, more discerning, so that, like meditation, it's helping you to feel centered and less bothered by the busyness and static of the outer world, so that you'll be able to handle any kind of challenges that present themselves and step into roles that you've been seeking in the outer world, especially maybe volunteering or maybe doing some sort of outreach, community outreach, whatever it is that you think that you've been pulled towards, this can definitely help you to be more effective in that role. It's definitely not about simply sitting down by yourself and creating something. No, it's about helping yourself to be more alive so that you can be more engaged in the outer world, celebrating life, being joyful, releasing fear, and honoring yourself. Again, it goes back to the shadow stuff that I was talking about the last 2 weeks. And if you listen to Susan's show tonight, she was talking about some of the same things, being able to love your fear and face it and watch it melt away and then see what happens. And that's really what the creativity can help you with. So you might want to find a way to do the meditations and to allow yourself the space to create something and bring it into your life. And again, going back to the dreams, they may be pointing to something that will help you to take steps to identify what wants to be brought into your life. For me, I talked about my stove dream, and I've been following that guidance, and I joined a CSIA program this week, which really is helping to revitalize the neighborhood that it's in, as well as provide organic food to the whole region. So that dream really helped me to find a way, although I'm still trying to grow my own food, to support a large community of people and myself. So it's living your life fruitfully in whichever way is appropriate. And sometimes you might think that you just can't do it, but there's always a way to channel your energy and just to find that avenue of expression. And creativity, just like intuition, can help you to see your world and more clearly and in an immediate way tap into the mystery of your life just below everyday normal happenings, helping you to see your inner self. And you might want to look at what you can imagine. Imagination really is a strong part of creativity. So it's noticing what's happening in the world, not turning away from it, and being able to handle that. So again, we go back to the stillness, stepping out of the static, letting go of the blinders, instead of not noticing, to truly notice and to be willing to ask what it's about. And the creativity can definitely help. And it doesn't have to cost tons and tons of money. Simply do what ignites passion within you. I've been playing with a camera this week, just noticing cars and trees. We don't have a lot of leaves on the trees yet, so taking pictures of the buds and just exploring photography at a deeper level. And that's what I've been led to explore. I'm not sure what I'm doing with all these pictures yet, but it's fun taking them. I'm enjoying the process. And we have a lot of chatter in the chat room about a dream. Yes, if you're encouraged to play with something, as I see people are in the chat room, like clay or something, again, feel free to go and explore that. And there's lots of department stores sell clay now. You don't have to go to the expensive hobby stores, and it's very inexpensive. You might even be able to find it cheaper in some of the large home improvement stores, and maybe even online too. But find a way to explore what you're called to do and see what you create. It might lead to some new personal discoveries. We're really trying to connect to see who we really are and to see where our feelings, what our feelings are covering up, what our fear is covering up, and to simply notice that and use whatever works for you. It's kind of stepping a little bit out of rationality for a moment and exploring feelings, my own feelings, with the photography at least, in a way that feels freeing. It's moving away from busyness and doing and losing yourself, stepping into a special place which could be magic. For me, it's the camera. A lot of times it's pencils or the crayons. And I'm really enjoying capturing the random images. And it might be useful for my website, or maybe nothing at all. Maybe I create a collage. I don't know. It beats buying those old image CDs. For one, I guess you can use Google Image for now, or one of those other fancy tools. But I like to capture the images of things that might be gone. I always remember driving by an old barn and saying, oh, gee, I should have my camera here. And then it was torn down. It's gone. Poof. So it's exciting, and it's stirring something in my own heart, and it's saving glimpses of my world. And I always remember as a child that we had a civic center collapse, and the building was not torn down for a while, but we didn't take but a few pictures, but they're on slides, so don't really have an opportunity. Well, I guess you can go buy the tools to get it off the slides, but with the camera, it's all digital now. And I used to save newspapers, so the images really speak to me on some level. And with a camera now, it's easier to connect to those images. And I can store millions of pictures and share them with others and use them in future projects. So I'm really excited about it. And not only is it creative, it can begin to help answer important life questions eventually as I begin to incorporate whatever I do with all these pictures. Maybe a vision board, or I don't know, maybe just use them on my website. Now, how can you use your own creativity to explore? So you might have a question in your heart about something, or you might not have any question at all. Some good questions to ask as an exercise before you begin might be, what did that event mean for me? What did that dream mean? What does my anxiety mean? What is my stress connected to? Am I courageous enough? So you might use you don't have to answer these right away. You can use the art to answer these. And it's really helping you to be aware of what you're telling yourself. What's your story? You can definitely change it. And you can definitely rewrite it. What have you been telling yourself about your story? You really have the ability to change that, and the art is definitely a way to do that. And if the questions don't help you to begin to look at that, then you might use something like the tarot or the runes or the I Ching, and then simply draw a card and then create something out of that. Ask how they make you feel. So if you draw a card, ask how it makes you feel, and then work with your art around that. And some other simple ideas I might have talked about before. You might have have a relationship issue and you don't know how to say you're sorry. So design an I forgive you postcard, for instance, or simply just design a postcard that has your emotions on it. Sorry, I haven't talked to you in a while. This is how I'm feeling. And maybe you hold on to that for a while. Maybe you send it out. Maybe you have a heart shape and paint and draw how you feel inside of that. Sculpt something that represents freedom. There's tons and tons of things that you can do. These are just ideas. And really, it's about connecting inward to yourself. So ultimately, you know who you are and you can listen to your heart on a deeper level. Thusly, you can connect to your intuition and your senses on a whole new level, new realm. Now, I haven't mentioned the secret object tonight. I'm sorry I forgot about that, but I'll post it in the chat room and in the forum, and you can try to determine what it is intuitively. When you have time, you could come and click on the link and see what it is. So maybe you do some artwork around the secret object and then see how close you are to what it actually was. That might be a fun exercise. And in the chat room, Donna asks, where do we find topics of interest to take pictures of? Well, for me, wherever I am, that's what pictures I'm taking in the moment. It doesn't matter where I am. I could be taking pictures of road signs or cars or simply taking pictures of stores. It doesn't really matter. It's just seeing, playing with the zoom, playing with the flash. If it's dark, looking at the trees. It's just a fun process. I'm not really trying to be connected to, does it make sense? It's more about, am I having fun with the process? And really, that's all you really have to do, is to have fun with your creative process. And if you're not having fun, ask yourself why, what would be fun, and begin to work towards having fun. And for some, their creativity might come through gardening or something else that normally wouldn't be considered creative. I was listening this week to a jazz show that really breaks down the music and tries to explain how the musicians play their instruments for everyone, from children on up. And the host was talking about how the musicians bend the notes to their needs. So that, again, they're in the moment. They're really expressing how they feel in that moment. And they were saying, well, every musician is unique. Well, of course they are. We're all our own person. We're not trying to become someone else. We're trying to help ourselves to unfold. And then they were talking about how if you saw an accident, you wouldn't just say, I saw a problem with two cars. You would say there was lots of people running around and there was glass everywhere and the front bumper was crushed and fallen off. You had more detail and you'd know more. And you want the other people to know more. You wouldn't just say, oh, there was a problem with two cars. Nobody would know what you were talking about. And just like our words, the notes help you to understand more about the music. So what your notes are the tools that you're working with, and the viewing, I guess, of the creativity when you're done. It's bringing a new voice into the world. Partly, it's your voice. It's the art voice, which is really your voice anyway. And the notes give the song depth, warmth, and meaning, and the way in which we create draws from the depth of our heart. It allows us to connect with our own deeper story. So really to look at how you're connecting with your own deeper story, and knowing that however you're being creative, you're creating in your own unique way, and don't label it, and don't try not to let go of the shoulds and the coulds, and just try not to compare yourself to anyone else. It's about finding a way to live your life in a way that matters, so you don't have unlived life, and knowing yourself and your body. And not only connect with your emotions, but to connect about beliefs about yourself, and then look at how you can let go of some of those attachments. It's not stagnating, it's opening to life and expressing your deepest feelings. And it's replenishing. So it's setting time aside to take time off, finding ways to recharge, both your creative and your physical energy, and You might take walks, you might exercise, spend time in nature, listen to music, whatever it is. But continuing to look at things and explore things that you care about, and maybe taking classes and seek out teachers who are passionate about what you're interested in. And that way, if you really want to become an expert, over time with a sustained effort, you can become an expert, but you don't really need to do that. Just notice where your creativity leads. And for me, I'd like to say it never really runs dry. It's connected to our feelings, definitely, especially around scarcity and being enough. But when I write an article, there's always another one that pops up right after that. So when I'm thinking about what to post on my blog, for instance, this could be the last one I ever write. No, that's not true. There's always something else that comes right after that. The creativity always has another idea for me that comes right up after I find a way to express the idea that pops up in my head. So whatever it is, don't be afraid of it. It's really connected to something much more deeper, and be willing to explore that. And in the chat room, what are we talking about? We're talking about, I guess, things that are in the garden. Well, I want you to be excited, and everyone's excited, it seems, about what they could do in their gardens with their statues and whatnot. That's great. But maybe you can create your own statues for your garden. You can work with metal. Maybe it's time to go find a blowtorch and create your own metal herons and statues. That could be fun. Think of the power that gives you working with a blowtorch. Now, we only have about 5 minutes to the end of the show, so if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. I'll continue this part of this discussion next week, but my links are on my site. If you go to awakenedradio.net, you can get to the links, but if you go to intuitionbyrob.net, my links are on the media page. But if you come to Awakened Radio, you can click on Awakened Radio Show's Interaction and click on Your Unfolding Senses and scroll down. Click on the Contact Me link to email me, and my intuition site's right below that, intuitionbyrob.net. I have Numbers by Rob, which talks all about numerology, and you can go to that website too. And on Twitter, I'm at Intuition by Rob, and on Facebook, I'm at Your Unfolding Senses and Numbers by Rob. And you can go to the Awakened store and get a reading from me there, and also at my site. And of course, you can donate, buy dream catchers, kefir, gemstones, healing kits, all kinds of stuff at the Awakened Radio store. Reading from me, Ingrid, or Donna. There's tons of capabilities there. And again, I'll post what I've been talking about tonight in the forum. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me about creativity or what the secret object was for tonight. I didn't see any guesses in the chat room, so I'll post a link in the forum, and you'll be able to click on it and see what the object was. But I'll give you a hint. It was definitely a food item this week. So if you were tasting something, that was what it was. Definitely a food item. So come to the forum and see what it was really all about. And I guess in the chat room they're saying they were too busy thinking about creating something and to work with the intuitive object challenge for tonight. And that's always okay. So it'll definitely be in the forum. And really, I want to encourage and challenge everyone to find a way to explore creativity this week. with whatever tools and techniques that they're called to do. Oh, and yes, I do have a Facebook page. It's Rob Ragozzine, and my fan pages I already mentioned. It's Your Unfolding Senses on Facebook and Numbers by Rob. Your Unfolding Senses is for everything I'm really talking about on this show, and Numbers by Rob is all about numerology. So I challenge you this week to find a way to explore your creativity with whatever you're called to do. Maybe it's something from childhood. Maybe you work with fingerprints. Don't be embarrassed. So if you want to work with fingerprints, that's okay. Whether it's painting or clay, go try it. See where it leads and report back. And I'd like to hear what you've created. You can send me a link to a picture of your object that you created, and I'd be more than happy to explore what I see in the object with you, and we can talk about what it might mean for you. Happy exploring your creativity this week. See where it leads.